guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a review on the Scoopfree self-cleaning litter box. So we've had Billy here in our family since the beginning of December. It is now obviously the very end of March. So we've had the box and been using the box, well, she's been using the box for what, 4.5 months, almost 5 months now. So I thought it would be a good time to do a review since we've had a bit of experience with it, and I thought I'd let you know my thoughts. I just wanted to say up front that this is a pretty expensive option for litter boxes. It is definitely more affordable than some of the other options available on the market for self-cleaning boxes, but it still is a bit of an investment that you need to put forth to purchase this in the first place. I got mine for, I think it was between $150 and $200. I want to say 160 I think, and then the trays, depending on where you buy them from, I tend to get mine in a bulk pack, so they're a little bit cheaper that way, but they are, again, not a super cheap thing to do. Like, they're not a $6 bag of litter from Coles or Woolies or anything, so just bear that in mind. That being said, they are definitely marketed as sort of a more time efficient approach to having a litter box, and they do say that they do end up saving you money in the long run because you are changing that litter tray a lot less frequently than you would be with a traditional litter box. I haven't really done all of this. I did the math kind of thing before I bought the box and everything, and yeah, I think it will eventually end up costing less to have this unit than your traditional litter box, but and definitely saves a whole lot of time. Finding that with my cat, I am changing the tray itself every 3 to 4 weeks, just so it depends time to time, but it's generally I'll get at least 3 weeks out of the tray, up to 4 weeks. So it will depend on cat to cat and what their sort of habits are and everything, but for mine it's at least 3 weeks before I have to even touch the thing. What the litter box does is it's all plugged in to the wall with electricity. It has a rake which scoops all of the litter out of the tray and puts it into a little cardboard box at the end of the unit, and then at the end of the 3 or 4 weeks, however long you get out of it, you just simply remove the tray, pop the lid on and dispose of that, so you don't ever have to touch the poop, scoop the poop, you don't see it, like it's all away. I honestly don't notice it working during the day, unless I go into the laundry, you know, that's when I'll see it, but I don't ever hear it doing its scooping. It's not completely silent, but it's not loud enough that I hear it if I'm not in the room, and even at nighttime I don't hear it, unless I don't know if she goes or not at nighttime, because I'm asleep, but I don't hear it. It just never wakes me up. It's probably not a good thing if your cat is, you know, unwell, or you need to monitor its bowel movements or anything like that. That makes it probably a little bit more difficult, because the cat will jump into the litter box, obviously do whatever it needs to do, jumps back out, and then the scoop will wait 8 minutes, I believe it is, and then it will scoop it away and put it into the box. So if you are, like I say, if you're monitoring your cat's habits and what it's doing, unless you're sort of following your cat and watching what it's doing, you're not going to actually see what's going on in that litter box unless you're on it. It's probably the only thing that you really need to worry about is if you need to monitor your cat's bowel movements. But anyway, besides that, I find, like I say, I only really need to pay attention to it once every 3 weeks. I do keep an eye on it because it is in the laundry, so I see it. So I'm always looking at it to make sure everything's okay, but so far everything has been okay. I think there's been 3 instances probably in the whole time we've had it where the poop that she's done hasn't been caught by the rake when it's scooping it up. So that will happen if she has got really, really small poop that time, which, like I said, it's happened maybe 3 times. Like, the rake is fairly fine, that it will pick up everything as it goes through. And then also the urine, the litter itself doesn't clump with the urine. It just sort of soaks into the litter, if that makes sense. I don't really know if it does, but it doesn't clump up and take it away the same way it does poop. Or yeah. I do find as well that the odor from a litter box that you would usually have is pretty much non-existent. It's only when you get to the last few days, like of the 3 to 4 weeks, that you start to smell anything, and even then it's not the poop that you're smelling, it's the urine, because, like I say, it's not sweeping that away, it's sort of soaking into the litter. You really don't smell the poop at all. And granted that my cat does have a raw food diet, so I believe that her droppings tend to be, well, are meant to be less smelly than a cat that eats regular cat food and everything. So I don't know if that plays a factor in it, but I can't smell any kind of kitty litter smell unless I'm right there at the end of the month where the urine's coming through. That's sort of when I can smell it, and that's when I know it's time to change. But for the first 2.5 weeks, definitely, no, I don't smell anything at all, which is great. Because it takes the poop away so quickly, it's not obviously sitting there and waiting for you to clean it. You do have to be organized with ordering your replacement trays because I haven't found anywhere that sells them in store. I'm in Perth, so I mean, and there might very well be some place, but not close enough for me to go and purchase in store. So I do have to be organized when I'm ordering the replacements. I have to get them online. But I mean, like I say, you get at least 3 weeks out of the tray before you need a new one, so you've got plenty of time to order in that time frame.
So this is what the replacement trays look like. They just come simply like this. They are wrapped in plastic usually, but I have removed that already just so I can show you a bit quicker how it all works. This is the unit I have, but obviously it works for both. I buy mine in a pack of 6, like a bulk pack. So they're a bit hard to store because obviously they're so big. And if you get 6 of them, like where are you going to put them? But anyway, I've made do. So the top section of it at the moment actually sits underneath. Like so. So it holds, the tray while it's inside the unit being used. It comes with the bag of kitty litter, which, like I say, is the blue crystal litter. And then this is the tray itself. This is where the crystals get poured into this section. And then this little cardboard section is where the poop gets held once it's been scooped. It does have these little magnetic sections here which attach to the unit, so the unit actually lifts it itself. You don't have to worry about that. There are instructions here for replacing it each time you do. And then when you finish, like I'll show you with the other one, you simply pop it out of there and then put that on top and pop it into the bin. I like to close mine. I put some sticky tape on it so it doesn't sort of explode in the rubbish bin. I mean, they don't instruct you to do that, but I just find that that makes it a bit easier. So I'll move on to replacing it now. So this is the unit. I keep it in my laundry. She used it only a few minutes ago, so she's like sort of dug a little hole in it. Usually the rake will sort of sort that out, but I'm just going to leave it there so you can see what does happen. It's not particularly deep. It's quite shallow, the litter, and there are sensors, so you can't sort of fill it up too high either. So you can see there's a lot of discoloration now in the litter where this sort of greenies patches are. So that's sort of how you can really tell that it's time to change, and also it has begun to smell just a little bit. It's not too bad, but I can definitely smell it if I'm paying attention. This little transparent bar is where that cardboard pouch is sort of, where that cardboard box is sort of centered. So you can see when it lifts, it brings that cardboard section up as well. And that's where all the poop is. I did wonder when I was purchasing if you'd be able to see the poop through this thing, because I didn't realize there was that box part underneath. So yeah, you definitely never have to look at the poop if you do not want to, unless you actively go and look under that thing. I'm going to show you as well how the unit works. I've just got some pasta here because I obviously you don't want to look at some actual cat poop, but I'm just going to pop that in there. And then the button on the back here, this will go automatically after it knows that the cat has gotten out of the litter box after about 8 minutes, but you can run it manually yourself just by pressing the button. And as you can see, the rake's going to go through. I'm not sure how well it's going to work with the pasta, but we'll see. Oh yeah, it's doing okay. Now, if the cat does jump back in while it's raking, it will stop and let it do what it wants to do. See, it's left a few behind. That's because they're so small. Like if your cat has really small poop, it will do that. But we've had her since she was a kitten and it never was a problem like that. But that's just what happens if, it's not big enough. And then when it comes back, yes, like I said, it will stop if cat jumps back in, and it will let it do what it wants to do and then kick back up again. And if that happens, that's only happened a couple times with my cat, but if that does happen, I find that you have to run it again yourself. But yeah, it's not really been a problem. And see, this is what happens if it does miss it. You can just have a little scoop here, whoops, pull it back across. My cat's really interested now. And I've only got one hand, but I would usually pull it up and just sort of tuck it under there, or I'll just run the scoop again. This depends on sort of what I'm doing at the time. Excuse me, cat. So that's how it works when it's actually scooping the litter. And now I'll just show you how I replace the tray. Hopefully this film's okay because the angle's a bit off. But anyway, so mine's really wedged quite tightly in between this. So usually it just comes out. Usually it's just the fact that I've squeezed it in between the, hang on, what are you doing? I've squeezed it in between the washing machine and the trough here. So usually I'll just lift this up. So that's really easy.
The soiled litter is all contained inside the tray here. You do keep the lid underneath the top of the tray because it's meant to help with leakage if anything does leak through the bottom of the tray. I haven't had a problem with that yet. I don't know if you can see through the camera, but there are a few little crystals scattered around. Again, I don't have a huge problem with the crystals coming out of the house, but I do have this mat here, so I don't know if that sort of picks them up before they get out into the house. So, oops, okay. To put the new one in, super simple, you just sort of position it underneath, pop it back on like that. You'll hear a little click when the tray magnetizes to the little cardboard box underneath. And then, oh, hang on, there's nothing in there. There's nothing in there. It's just a matter of pouring in the crystals, so that's really easy. And I just use my little shovel to sort of space it out nicely. I just like to run the unit to even out all of the litter. So you can see it's just sort of raking it nicely. I find it really quite satisfying. It's not like one of those little, what do they call, little sand gardens that you can rake. You see them in offices all the time, in like waiting rooms. You can see it's lifting that up. I actually probably need to get a wipe and disinfect that a little bit. Just wait, plus. She's very eager to get back in it. I don't think she needs to go. I just think she finds it fascinating. Hang on. I just might show you how it stops. Yeah, see, it stopped. I've just taken her out because I don't want her to try and pee or poop in it when the rake's not back. Okay. Do what you want to do. I'll give her privacy. So now at this point, like I say, I will just tape the lid closed. Just with some regular tape, and then I just put it into the rubbish bin, like the regular rubbish bin that comes and gets collected. And yeah, that's it. Overall, I do really like this litter box. I feel like it is definitely a time-saving unit. Definitely makes that part of having a cat a lot easier, a lot more pleasant. So if you don't mind spending that little bit of extra money on the litter box in the first place, I feel like this is definitely a good option. I would love to eventually try and get the cat Genie, which is another one altogether, another self-cleaning box altogether. It is one where it basically plumbs into your laundry sink or your toilet, whatever works for your house, and then it sort of flushes the droppings away and everything, so you literally don't have to touch it. I've seen some reviews on that one. I didn't go for that one in the first place because it doesn't fit in my laundry at the moment, or I didn't think it probably does now that but it doesn't matter. I would like to get that one eventually. It's a bit more expensive, but I feel like it would work even better. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm gonna stick with this one obviously until it has had its day. Yeah, if you do have any questions about the unit, let me know in the comments down below and I will answer them. If I get enough, I'll probably do another follow-up video of like a frequently asked questions about the Scoopfree self-cleaning litter box. Is that what it's called? I think so. But yeah, because I probably haven't covered everything in this review. But overall, I do think it is worth the money. It's saved me a whole lot of time. It's made having a cat so easy. I do hope you found this review helpful. Let me know, like I say, if you've got any comments, give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and subscribe if you're new, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!